Welcome back to Algebra 2, reviewing for the first semester final. This time we're going to be discussing factoring. The first thing we have up here is an x to the third minus 125. Notice that those are both perfect cubes, so that means we have to use our perfect cube formula to help us factor. A cubed minus b cubed is equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. If you don't know that off the top of your head like I do, I would strongly suggest you put that on your formula sheet so you can use it on your final. So we have to determine what a and b is here. Well, x cubed, so x would be like our a, 125. 5 cubed gives us 125, so b would be like our 5, and then we just plug it in. So here we would have x minus 5 times x squared plus 5 times x, so 5x plus 5 squared is 25. So that's factored. Next up, 16x squared minus 81. This is a difference of two perfect squares, so we use our difference of squares formula, which is a squared minus b squared equals a minus b times a plus b. Recall, this is a method of factoring that I just expect you know, but if you don't know it, certainly put this on your formula sheet. So this, the square root of 16x squared would be 4x, square root of 81 would be 9, so this would be 4x plus 9 times 4x minus 9. The next example, we have four terms, 3x squared minus 6x plus 6xy minus 12y. When we have four or more terms, we do the method called grouping. So we're going to group our first two together and our last two. Now we take out a GCF. GCF of 3x squared and 6x is 3x. And we are left with then x squared minus 2. X to the first power minus 2. 6xy minus 12y. That GCF is a 6y. And we are left with x minus 2. Notice our x minus 2's are now the same in the parentheses. So this leaves us with x minus 2 times, we were left then with a 3x plus a 6y. So four or more terms we have to factor by that method of grouping. And we also can have trinomials. Hopefully by now you've gotten very good at these. So 15x squared plus 19x plus 6. So we're going to split it up into its two parentheses. We're going to think about how we can factor to get 15. Well, it's 1 times 15 or 3 times 5. Out of those two options, 3 times 5 seems more likely. So we will fill it in with our 3x and 5x. Then we look at our last term, 6, which is 1 times 6 or 2 times 3. Out of those two, probably the 2 times 3 seems a little bit more likely. So I'm going to fill my last terms in with 2 and 3. I would certainly not put my 3 in the first parentheses because then there would be a GCF, and there is not a GCF overall in that starting formula. So instead, in that first parentheses, I'm going to put the 2, meaning the 3 would go in the second, and now we will check. 3x times 3 is 9x. 2 times 5x is 10x. 9x plus 10x gives us 19x. So we fill in our plus signs there, and voila, we have it factored.